Senior White House correspondent Jacqui Heinrich with more. Jacqui.
Harris, the market briefly rebounded to positive territory after what the press secretary is calling a fake news CNBC report that claimed that the president was considering pausing all tariffs on all countries for 90 days with the exception of China. For a period of time, about a half hour, the press team in the White House, we were all trying to figure out if this was true or not, if it had been accurately reported, because that would have been a major reversal after the administration spent all morning doubling down on this policy. You heard the president say, and the White House echo, that he really believes that this has to be done because if nothing happens, the country will go bankrupt in 2 years. Now, we do know that was a fake news report, but just shows the market volatility this morning. Here's what Kevin Hassett said earlier.
How influential would the U.S. be if it were bankrupt? Well, let me tell you, if we had 4 more years of Joe Biden's behavior, Joe Biden's policies, we probably would have been very close to bankruptcy. And that's why we're coming at it with everything we've got to fix the economy in the 4 years that President Trump has.
So the president's still committed to his strategy. He posted to Truth Social this morning. The United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. Don't be weak. Don't be stupid. Don't be a panickin. A new party based on weak and stupid people. Be strong, courageous, and patient, and greatness will be the result. He also said on Air Force One last night the tariffs will make the country money when all is said and done.
It's not a question of we will. We're going to put them on. And those tariffs next year will make us $1 trillion. In addition to the $1 trillion.
So, as you mentioned, Harris, the White House says that about 50 countries have called to try to make deals. The president said this morning that tough but fair parameters are being set. He spoke with the Japanese prime minister this morning, who volunteered to send a top delegation to Washington to negotiate. What we still don't know is how long it's going to take for the president to accept these deals and whether he might try to hold out long enough to also force Congress to maybe take some action on tax cuts and deregulation in the meantime. Harris.
Yeah, we know that those are the next steps in all of this. Jacqui, thank you for getting us started. Brian Brenberg, co-host of the Big Money Show on Fox Business. All right, you were saying that was a big deal this morning.
Oh, this has been a wild day on Wall Street, okay? So we saw a plunge to start the day, and then we got this rumor that the president might be doing a 90-day pause on tariffs, which wasn't true. But the market just shot through the roof, and then it was confirmed it's not true.
How much did it shoot through the roof?
Dow went up about 1,000 points.
What does that tell you?
We had green on the screen of almost 1,000 points after the last 2 days.
I looked up. I saw that it had a good start. What does that tell you?
So here's what it tells me. You've had all this selling in the market, but as soon as investors got the whiff of a rumor that you might get a pause, all of a sudden they were feeling bullish again, okay? So what it tells me is you've got a lot of negative sentiment among investors on these tariffs. But I don't know if it's that deep. They're expecting this president to cut a deal. And as soon as they thought he did, it soared. So, you know, if I'm the president of the United States and I see that, I'm thinking, okay, I hold a lot of cards, maybe even more now than I thought. But also I can do a lot in the markets with some deal making here. This is the biggest invitation to deal making, right?
I mean, when you sat down, you were always a happy guy. But when you sat down, you said, yeah, this is the beginning of a process. It's going to be a process. What do you make of the 50 or so countries that the White House says that the president and his team are talking to right now about tariffs?
Well, look, if you're going to do reciprocal tariffs, the thing you would want to see right away is 50 countries, maybe more, lining up at your door saying we want to take our tariffs down. I mean, they're doing exactly what you would want to happen if you're in a negotiation with them. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. But it is a very, very good sign. And actually, more countries are talking like they want to negotiate than get into a trade war. And I think that's really important as well.
All right, one more. Canada has now requested the World Trade Organization take a look at the measures that the United States is taking. They say that it breaks with the obligations under various provisions of the General Agreement of Tariffs and Trade Act of 1994. What do you say?
So they're going to complain to the WTO. It's going to start a 60-day conversation where they say, here's what we think is the problem. The United States is going to come back. If they can't get an agreement at the end of 60 days, then you go to the next phase, which is sort of this arbitration. But here's the thing about Canada, okay? They've got an election coming up. And the guy who's now the prime minister looked like he was going to lose big time. And then he came roaring back because he could play the anti-U.S., anti-tariff card that he's been playing.
Anti-Trump card.
And it's worked for him. So I don't expect Canada, until they have an election and maybe elect a new prime minister, I don't know, I don't expect them to do anything but try to look like they're playing hardball, because for their leader, that's the politically good thing, even if for the economy in Canada, that's not the good thing.
Well, and one of the things he ran on after Justin Trudeau went down to Mar-a-Lago and came back, and the president, of course, made the joke of, hey, why doesn't Canada become the 51st state? The new guy wanted to run far left of that, especially on the issue of our relationship with them.
Yeah, and this was just played right into that strategy for him. But look, Canada might be good for his politics. I don't know if it's good for your economy, so think hard before you make him the prime minister officially.
We saw one get kicked out. We'll see what happens with this guy. A new opinion piece on Fox titled, "Here's What Trump is Really Up to with the High-Stakes Tariff Gambit." It explains what is actually in play here is a high-stakes effort to build up leverage and resources to manage America's debt, reset its industrial base, and renegotiate its standing in the global order. There are serious risks here, but make no mistake, this is not improvisation. It is disruption by design. Whether one agrees with it or not, this is one of the most ambitious fiscal and industrial resets in a generation. Brian.
We have massive, massive issues on the fiscal side of our house. We've got $2 trillion deficits. We've got $9 trillion in debt that's going to roll over this year, which means we've got to refinance it, okay? It was financed at low interest rates. Right now, those interest rates could be a lot higher. That's part of the project, to get interest rates down so we're not paying $1 trillion in interest on our debt.
Real quick, the president reportedly is asking the Fed chair to lower those interest rates. Talk to me about that relationship real fast, and does that happen?
Well, here's what you do. To force the Fed chair to cut interest rates, you create the conditions where he has to do it. You get inflation down, you get spending down. Then it's not like job-owning the Fed. All you say is, look at the data, look at the environment, and they're moving in that direction right now. You draw your own conclusions, right? That's basically what the president can do here. He's saying he wants interest rates lowered. More importantly, he's creating the conditions where that can happen.
Brian Brenberg, superstar.
You bet.
Good to see you. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.